what I want to do, I just want to close that. Right. So the week before, we were discussing your farming and your area and everything that's happening. Last week, Jessica was talking about the shift and what does it mean and the implication that it has on the market. And please, if you've missed the video, it is already on YouTube on my channel. Otherwise, it will be in the new Walk the Talk that is coming out. Do you get my Walk the Talk? Do you find it value? I get the heads that are knocking. Rochelle, I think you will get the first ones coming out now because you've just got your username and password. But guys, please, if you don't get it, let me know. So let me just drag this screen bigger. There we go. So a shifted market, because you all saying to me in conversations, we do have buyers. There is buyers and they are getting pre-qualified because the interest rate is still at its lowest and it's still favorable for people to own real estate. Now you all say to me the stock, please don't use that word stock, it's the inventory is very low. There's not new listings coming on the market. We do valuations and we do speak to people, but we don't have that new thing coming on the market. What we do have is that property that was on a sole mandate with a green team, and then the sole mandate is now over. Now it becomes an open listing, right? So whenever the supply, sellers, inventory, and demand, buyers move out of balance, that is when a shift happens. We've got all these huge amounts of buyers that are ready to buy, and then on the other side we have zero stock. So the pendulum has moved. If you want to see, go and read the Shift book, please. It is in Agent Toolkit. It is in the Keller Williams library. Very important. Now that I talk about it, and I think it's going to come up later, pages 9, 10, 11 is the important ones in the Shift. Whilst my brain remembers that now, and we talk about the pendulum that is out of balance, Jessica was referring to not days on the market a property is or what it's sold for. That is just conversations to create results. And that's why we are talking about our market is moving further apart and we are needing to gear up now. Because remember, again, whatever you do in real estate today is only going to show up 90 days later. That is in all the European and American markets, because remember, their worlds is completely different. We are kind of almost 120, 150-day cycle in some cases. Listen, I can tell you of farm transactions that is up to an 8 and a 9 months. So an agent that specializes in those products, financial cash flow planning and everything, it needs to look different. You can work exactly what your income will be from the lightstones and the inform. That's why you have a personalized lightstone that is attached to your username and password. Shift to a buyer's market creates a pain for sellers. Why? Hello, I have got X amount of money, number one. This is what I can buy. Are you in or are you out? So what we don't really have in South Africa, and that they have in the States is what they call biometrics in real estate, where the sellers can actually exactly determine the value of their property. So Jessica was referring to, she and her husband was having a conversation, and she showed him that because of the interest rate in the States, when you could buy a property for $500,000 in February, you can now only buy a property for $350,000. Now with the interest rate that's gone up, and we're going to have it again, a buyer in South Africa that qualified for a 1.5 million rand home is now qualifying for a 1.3 million rand home, argumentatively. So it's almost like you have to resharpen that and go and look at what the properties were on the market for and what they actually sold for. you will see a depreciation in that calculation. The sellers are losing it. I know myself, my husband and I bought an investment unit, and the only reason why it was a great deal because our buying power was right. It was everything on the tick list. And sorry for you, Mr. Seller, this is what I'm putting on the table. If you're not interested, somebody else is going to take the deal. Does that make sense? And I'm sure you all experience this because buyers is not necessarily that loyal to that one agent. They are working with other agents as well. But a shift like this next 6 months in South Africa, hear me out. That is what I so love about Keller Williams. We've got an answer for everything and a tool for everything. The 30, 60, 90. You're going to have a 30, 60, 90 July, July, August, September, so that you can work on a strict plan. Your 135 and your 411 must now be, if you thought in your planning that I need to do this week, 6 appointments is good enough. You need to revisit the quality of that and you need to double up so that you can gear to start eating that profit successes where you do now in spring. Everything works on seasons. Don't let me go into the moon and all of that because then we will have a big conversation. But you are gearing this season so that you can have a big celebration in December so that you can then just reshift whatever you need to up your game with so that you are brilliant when we fly into the new year. Financial year ends, people have got more money. You want to be ready in February. Even some of the valuations you're going to do now, people are going to say, okay, this is going to happen in our lives. You need to cultivate and look after those relationships so that you can gear it in November, December to eat from it financial year end when people have got different money decisions. Does that make sense? That is what this shift training is all about. Please talk to me. Are you okay?
Yes, we are.
Donkey,
Okay.
donkey, Carla. Okay, thanks, Knox. Now at least I know because for a moment the camera has disappeared here. If I go too fast or I miss something, please interrupt me or just press the raise your hand button. So the main ideas I want to discuss this morning is perspective on pricing strategies. If you're new to real estate as well, or those that has got the years of experience, let's just this perspective on pricing. Because the only reason why something doesn't sell is price. That's the only reason. Then we're going to study, and I want to talk to you about where to collect the information and how to empower yourself with what is happening in your market. And then I want to talk about approaching your sellers. Listen, the stuff that's coming out of your mouth, we need to up the game. You can't sound like the general Verimark agent anymore. Get the right price. Klar. You all work in residential environments where it is just takes time to get your scrapbook around pricing right. But once you get it and once you've done the footwork, it becomes conversational. And then manage the current listings that you have and the opportunities in your market differently. Right. Perspective on pricing strategies. Now, we're going to train you now today about or discuss about pricing and how to look at it and how to see it. And you're going to walk into open mandates and you're going to walk into listing appointments where you have now collected all of this information that Rolo was carrying on. And then you get there and you listen to the seller. And then you realize, oh, that thing about pricing and the importance of it. Because what are you worth per hour? What do you need to achieve in gross commission income on the 25th of the month to pay your bills? Is it then worth it to run around with a seller that you can see it ain't gonna achieve 2.5, but nee, ek wil asseblief 3 million in my pocket hê. Is it gonna happen in the 6 months? No, unless it's got. You see, here's the problem as well with these huge things in the wrong suburbs as well, where they've overcapitalized. So in a buyer's market, real estate become a commodity. What do I mean with that? It's like people, it's like a ding. I've got buying power, I want to have this, and I want to have more of it. Because if you look at the cycle of real estate, it is brick and mortar is still the safest investment. Only properties in a good condition and price right will sell in a buyer's market. Why? If you want me hysterical, is if I play on private property and property 24. Now hear me out. I'm a stalker. I'm a recruiter. I am a cold caller. So what do? I like check your Facebook and what. Then I see, but this person has got lots of listings, and I can see it going the transactions because I check the celebrations on Facebook. I want to recruit this. This is lovely. But my, oh my, do we need to talk about the quality of the photos, the ads, the control of the stock? People buy with their eyes. If it's not a chocolate box picture, don't waste your time, because there's so many other options. They're going to go to the next agent. You have to educate your seller accordingly, even if it is a 2-bedroom flat on the 10th floor and there's a tenant in it. You will, in any case, if there's a tenant in it, sign your mandate and hear what you will put in your mandate. Write this down because you're going to need it. The tenant will be notified that the property is on the market, and once guarantees on a successful sale is delivered, the notice period will be of effect. You can go and watch the movie later. Number 2, you're also going to put there a fixed viewing time when the property will be ready for viewing with prospective buyers will be on this day on a Wednesday and this on a Sunday. And your seller is going to send a copy to that tenant and that rental agent. And you're going to remind them. There's nothing more embarrassing than arriving and want to put your best show forward, and it smells like fish at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you want to do a viewing. That way, when you speak to prospective buyers, you can say, luister, there's a tenant in it and we've got a fixed arrangement according to my mandate. 5 o'clock Wednesday's viewing time, please arrange accordingly. Right. Price correct for bad conditions, but conditions won't correct a bad price. What does that mean? The half-built in Woodhill Golf Estate is not magically going to be the right price because it's Woodhill and everything around it is beautiful. Same story Zimbali, same story Silver Lakes, Beaconwood. I can carry on. That's what I'm trying to say. Price it right, sell it, and get it out. Understand? People think, when COVID happened, most of the developers and the people that were busy building spec houses sort of had to call it a halt. And then when they had to start moving, now they had to catch up because the money was running like a V8 bucky. Go and look at what happened with that. And this is what I say to a spec builder developer. 25 to 27% is good profit. When you start touching 32, you're doing well. 35, you're stealing from the end user. Your quality is in question. Because correct pricing represents 80% of marketing efforts. If the price is right, the picture is sexy, and you are in control of the steps to follow, you will have the conversions, the results. You don't want to waste your time or the seller's time. It is a competitive market. Buyers have a lot to choose from and will not view overpriced properties. Buyers have got access to so many free websites where they can pull the information. Private property and Property 24 advertises whatever was sold on the bottom of the page. So if everything in the suburb was selling highest price at 3.5 million and you sitting with a 3.2, the buyers are thinking, is it experience or is it because there's something like gold in this house that we don't see in the bad pictures? Understand that only properties in the right condition and the right price is going to sell in this market. And I know the inventory is low. Like Rolo, now I need to dive deeper. Here's a little tip. I gave it a couple of times on the training. Every property in South Africa statistically changes hands, meaning getting a new bond, a new valuation, or renovations, or a new owner on a 7 to 8 year cycle. If you look at what is happening on Lightstone on the graphs at the bottom, it's all on a 7-year cycle. So when you do your networking database and cold calling street by street, focus on those that are 7 to 8 years in ownership in that street. And your call is, hi, this is Carla. I'm phoning from Keller Williams. Hi, Carla. Listen, I just want to talk to you about, this whole municipality. Where you phoning from, Keller Williams? Listen, I'm not interested in insurance. I'm not insurance. I'm actually the kid on the block that knows everything about what's happening in real estate. Can you talk to me? Then you're going to go over to the municipal valuation story and say, let me send you the free report that you have my detail. So that when you get your new rates account and you want to talk about your contest what they're charging you, I can assist you. Stage the homes. Water leaks and those things are not acceptable anymore. Ownership of real estate in South Africa is the most expensive actually in the world. If you go and look on levies and rates and taxes and interest rates on bonds, effectively, if you put it all together. So buyers are going to choose things that are, you want to draw the attention. And a little bit about now your role in this buyer's market or this pendulum, this gap that's going to happen in the next 6 months, and then it's going to start moving towards the other side. Sellers, and hear me out. You are no longer undervalued. Why did I put it in there? A shift is creating opportunities. We keep saying it. So can I tell you with this whole PPR histories and what? There's over 80 odd thousand, and this is, hear me out, I don't have the exact numbers. I was in a conversation, but I remembered the conversation, and it's very interesting in what's going to happen in our real estate environment. There's something like 83,000 attorneys in South Africa. There's currently 24,500 registered at the PPR EAB, and they're busy sorting and carrying on. With this PPRA and the new fees and the new rules and everything, we are going to lose a couple. Statistically, they reckon as we kick off 2023, we're only going to be about 18,000 property professionals in South Africa, realtors. Let me call it that. Currently, there's 21,000 registered medical doctors in South Africa. If you look at what realtors are earning per hour and what a medical doctor contracted rate can earn, there is realtors that are earning more than the medical doctor in South Africa currently. So I just want to say to you, you are not undervalued. You just need to up your game. The next 6 months is very, very important. Because sellers want to hear the following. They want to hear you are smart in your conversation about pricing, and that you are not here to go, ooh, yeah, ooh, 3 million, ooh, 2.5. Listen, So you can now obviously understand my passion and this thing for real estate. I do 25 years. And I've got a lot of friends across the globe that own properties. And I don't want to get involved with all of their properties. And then I'll get this call, Rolo, you have to help here because this agent is ooh and ah, and it's beautiful. And no, you must have market knowledge. You must know script. What are you talking about? Listen, you must have bias. And to have bias, you need to create bias. And do you know that in the current suburb there where you operate, if you're not going to build your database and you say, I said it before in my training and I'm saying it again, thou shalt not say goodbye ever again to anybody again. It is like in those love movies, like when they say goodbye at the airport. But don't say goodbye. It's like see you later. This is your punchline. Who do you know that I can be of assistance that wants to buy or sell in real estate? You're going to leverage our system because people know that a friend or a family want to live close to them. And statistically, people move at least once in their suburb because of time frames with schools and upgrades. We're going to talk about it. So you do have buyers. Just ask for them. Fiduciary commitment. FICAN, NCA, and NYUK, and PPRA, and all those beautiful abbreviations. It is your job to know the paperwork and to make sure that we don't land in trouble. A seller is not in business to sell houses. He's maybe a banker, a teacher, a whatever, a horse rider. It is you are appointed to be the professional. You are appointed to be that heart surgeon because you earn your act at X amount per hour. And you must have negotiating skills. You must be able to control the transaction because we have seen the fallout ratio of transactions that were, listen, the agent closed it, but during the negotiations, the attention in the detail and the dates becomes a problem. And then, because of the availability of infantry, the competitor must comes with long story keys. Make sure you negotiate it and you tie it so tight. Knowledge of financing options. Please, can I tell you why I've put it in there? Go and look in the agent toolkit is the multi-net folder. The ones of giants that are on here, I'm sure Alka have it her own people, and but in there is the loan to values of the bank. There's a calculator to pre-qualify. All the attorneys, multi-net's website has got calculators that automatically calculate it for you. Know what the banks are offering because if you take a buyer through a property that is not pre-qualified, you are busy going your hourly rate in the complete wrong direction. With all this COVID stories and securities and what. If it is a sole mandate, you controls the stock, controls the market. I want to see this property at 10 o'clock. Sure, it's my mandate. My mandate instruction with my seller is that I will only bring through on proof of that the client is pre-qualified. I'm going to give you my bank statement. Sure, then you're welcome to buy from somebody else. It's a grown-up world. People need to respect time. What I have done once is when I was, still actively selling, and I was selling country living properties, equestrian properties, Bridle Park, Sun Valley, Kailami, AH, Bellew, Glenfinesse, my stumping ground. And I used to have 5 show houses over a weekend, something like 100 odd boards. It was 2 hours just to get all the boards up on a Sunday morning and it all down on a Sunday. And when there was a horse show, Rolo was sitting under his gazebo handing out Rolo sweets and pamphlets on all my mandates. But then you get people that 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Hello, what you doing? Listen, I'm in the area. I really want to see this. This is this and this is this. I'm going, Now it's like a 6 million rand home it wants to see over lunchtime. People that own 6 million rand homes have got lives. It's great that the agent has got a lovely relationship to go, hello, doll, really, I know you're busy with lunch. I will not go through there, but can I please vie with the client through the property? I would get away with that. But I have said to a buyer, sure, if you want to buy a 6 million rand home, you can draw 5,000 cash at the ATM. Bring the 5,000 cash if you're really interested in making an offer. And you can somehow meet my sellers when we're there. You'll give you the 5 back. Otherwise, we'll keep it for charity. And that's exactly what he did. He went to draw. So what I'm just saying is understand your buyers. Understand the financing options. Where do you bank? Now I'm with Investec. Okay, well, what sort of work do you do and why would you? Ask the questions. Have a buyer's little list and practice it like a history test. Scripts. Here's the opportunities. Okay. Maximum. So, what are the opportunities actually there? Listen, and there's many. I've captured these. You can fill me in what you identify working in the field. Maximize investment and minimize losses. Some uh, 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 people that have bought investment units versus the rental income versus that's better to rather sell it and wait for something else or buy something else. So they're losing on those properties. People that have had the property for 20 years and they thought, I bought it 300 and now I'm going to sell it at 1.3. Is only achieving 950, 980. That's why they start moving the inventory out. But you need to bring that education to that seller to say, Luister, Piet, you've had it too long. You're going to start losing on it unless you start painting it. Excellent opportunity to move up because of interest rate, and people can achieve X. If you're a rainmaker and you want to start offering the 7-8 year people in Street Bobbejaan the valuations, and you want to bring them onto the market to show them that it's the right time to sell now and not to hold on, you can then somehow do a double deal because you already know, because of schools and children, people want to move for once in a suburb. You somehow move them into another property and upgrade. Potential gain in another market. Let me use an example. Seaward Estate, you all know Belito. Seaward Estate sits there at the hospital, and it's quite central and it's a mix of everything. And there you're going to buy up to say, I'm not going to think quick, in nice stock, 2.5 million, 3 million. Then an upgrade in a different market will be going into Zimbabwe, where entry level will be 5.5, 6 million, argumentatively. Here's the opportunity for you. By understanding this and bringing the information and knowledge to the people in your database and in your market, you're going to attract more buyers because you're going to have different new stock coming up. The knowledge and experience is going to tie you up in the correct script on better sold mandates. Those ones that are open mandates at the moment, you need to restructure the pricing. If a thing is more than 150 days on the market and you're going to list it, you need to get it completely off the market. New photos, new strategy, new alles. You need to clear the filters on those. And that's how you're going to now start gaining market share, by changing those exorbitant first both for sale by owners and those that are forever on the market into a new strategy, by educating the decision makers that are signing the check. Are you still okay? Are you getting something? Does it make sense? Talk to me.
Yes, thank you.
Donkey Carla. It seems like only Carla's on the training. Rossi is probably busy with lead generation. Makes perfect sense. Donkey, yes, Knox. Oh, there's the messages. Mooi, mooi. Right. So let's talk about study your market. Be the smarty pants. Be changing to a skills-based market. Yes, Danielle Donkey. There you have just said it. Be more knowledgeable than the headlines. What do I mean? So I'm almost going to be naughty, but this is a recording. It's almost like you need to ask your best friend, please dress up in your moi mois and go and play buyer in the competitor show house, because this is what naughty Rolo has done. But that's just me. So yeah, that can stay there. It's just a little something to make you laugh. Whatever the competitor is doing, and you should be registered on Private Property, Property 24, all the websites, all the Facebook groups, all the WhatsApp groups in your market, and you should know what is happening everywhere. I love that saying. If you've got nothing to do in the office, get out in your area. I love that saying. Please go and watch a Sunset Selling, right? On Netflix, the chicks there, they hustle. You now need to hustle your suburbs and your market and your area. There's no other beautiful word to say it, because you want to be that. You want to know everything. The hairdresser. You are the next hairdresser to have the scanner in town. Preview more properties to gain a better understanding of what's in the market. Property 24, private property, what we mean with preview, know it, see it, draw the light stone, start collecting the information, comparing it on the light stone and thinking, why is Pam Golding got it at 4.5? And if I look at this, I'm only going to get to 3.6. Analyze Lightstone Property 24 and private property. I'm going to spend more time on it later, where I'm going to show you the market, how to determine. Take time to understand the statistics and understand your competitors. Yeah, we're going to get to the formulas and the graphs now. There is endless videos on Lightstone. There is a library of how to change that report, that it is so personalized for you. That is really the biometrics, what they refer to in the States, or, and in Europe, they've got the same sort of setup where you can instantly pull the information. 6 personal perspectives. Like you're attending this training because you want to empower yourself to gear for what's happening in the next 6 months. Because you want to be the next smartest person. Now, that is a tool that we keep talking about. And the only way you're going to get smart with it is by learning how to work it better, be learning based. Formulas and graph. 9 pages, 9, 10, 11 in shift. Read it 6 times. That is your script to explain to your sellers what is expected to happen. So the next 2 things about the absorption rate and the activity index. And you really need to understand. And this is what I love about maps as well. Did you know that even on Google Maps, you can map where all the listings are? You can even dodge the agents, what the price is, etc. I'm learning new things about Google Maps, but you're going to empower yourself so much with it if you can learn how to mark things, create a map for all your own things, where it's listed, etc. So the activity index is the number of properties going under contract compared to the number of active properties on the market. So those blue lines on Lightstone shows properties that are under contract. If you really know all the properties in your market, you will know which ones is really active, plus the pendings, those blue lines. Divided by will show you the activity index, will show you what is the time frame on when things are happening. Please make sure you understand on Lightstone when sold and when registered. The dates are very crucial there, because this brings me to the absorption rate. what is truly actually selling in Port Edward. Number of months of inventory on the market. It demonstrates how long it would take to sell all of the current homes on the market if no other homes were to come on the market. So when you were on Jace's call last week, we were talking about, she said, if no new homes come on the market within 18 days, America would be sold out. And we all went, wow, imagine we could have that conversation in South Africa. Go and look at your Lightstone number of listings on the market, when it came on the market. Now, I know if you go and look on Property 24 private property and you start going down on it and you look at when it was actually first listed, etc., and you start building that information street by street or suburb by suburb, and then you start looking at the blue lines and the sale date in that suburb, then you're going to see really what is happening, which ties in with your 135 and your 411, so that you can know whether it is worth it to work in Silver Lakes, and am I going to earn my 1.6 million rand gross commission for 2022, 2023 out of Silver Lakes. Anything I need to explain about that? Do you understand it? Most of us process information based on what we see. In fact, 60% says 65% of us are visual learners. Thanks, Danielle. Yes, please. So that's a why infographic rule in 2019 in a magazine. Donkey Manda. And Manda, because Manda is in the Free State, and Manda is Marquardt, Henneman, small towns. Manda is really the real estate queen in those small towns because she knows everything. Like Kuruman, Zandrei is going to be the queen as she's, reworking her database and information. And that's why you are sort of, and that's what I always, because I can show you statistically, my husband is unbelievable with spreadsheets. And he's worked it out that because I worked in my area for 11 years. And it brought in, and I had 80% market share in my area. And that's why and that's why he worked it graphically, where he can show me where we've dropped in market share because I didn't do this or didn't do that. Most of us process it visually. Put this information in a way that you can process it so that your brain can learn that, so that it becomes natural, easy, better conversations. Now, your approach to your sellers. Ring, ring. Hello, Noxie speaking. Hi, Noxie. This is Rolo. I'm phoning from Keller Williams. How are you? Where? Keller Williams, the real estate company. Listen, I'm not interested to sell my home. It is already with 3 agents. I don't want more agents. Okay, why I actually just phoned is to say to you is that I am with Keller Williams and I am. Listen, Poppy, I don't want to talk to you now. I just want to say, okay, that's not the scripts anymore. You need to up your game. What I find is working on the open market when a property is exhausted with the Remaxes and the Pam Goldings, then I'll say, hi, this is Rolo. So I don't always do, for starters, what my intention is first, because I want to feel the person. Hi, it's Rolo speaking. How are you? Good, and you? Good, thank you. Can you talk to me now? Are you busy? Yeah, what is it about? I'm just phoning about your property that's been on the market for quite some time. Yeah. Look, I'm not phoning because I'm interested in marketing it. I'm actually just want to view it and see it, if you don't mind. I do help other buyers and sellers in the area. And in conversations, your property comes up and they have viewed it. And I'd rather want to know firsthand, what do I talk about? And immediately it's like, huh? This agent is not interested in listing my home. That's exactly that. I want to first see it for myself to decide whether it's worth it to put the effort in because I've got an hourly rate. Why would you run around with a property that is overpriced or something that's dilapidated and the seller is not going to fix it? The only person that loses at the end of the day, well, the seller is losing, but that's 6.5 or 7%, then easily in the negotiations becomes a 4. And that's why you need to up that negotiation skill because you are worth 7 plus VAT. Or some agents work on 8.5, some work on 10. Find the motivated. That's what I mean. Vacant stands is not a listing. It must have a rights account. It must have a lightstone. It must have a flashing toilet. Otherwise, it is not a listing. And what I mean with pre-qualify your sellers before you make a listing appointment. Red light, green light, pages 154 in the rate book up to pages 100 and something. We talk about red light, green light. Lead with revenue. Think first. What is it going to cost me to drive to this crazy auntie? And I'm going to spend there 2 hours, then some of there because I'm worth 1,844 Rand an hour, VAT included. If I spend 2 hours there, whoop, there goes 3,600. And then I still want to ride my horse this afternoon and I want to go to Pick and Pay. Lekker, Rolo. So some of you gooi easy 8 grand for the day in the water. Why are you selling? So when a seller starts with me, I just want to test the market. So you know what? Testing happens in laboratories, not in my real estate career or business. Thank you. Because it is, we're going to talk about now your sellers, right? Why do you want to sell? Is your rates and taxes up to date? Do you have bond outstanding? Because if you want me crazy, is where the Lightstone is at 900, they sell it at 900, they owe the bank 910. Waar's die eiendomsagent se geld? And then the seller says, yeah, but we're immigrating. Can't you take the couches and the double door fridge? Really? No. Please make sure when you are working, and hear me out. If you really follow the model and you listen to the Keller Williams song, we have reinvented every wheel that had to be reinvented. Don't try it. Stick to the model. It's simple. And what we refer to as well as in the model is where you need to understand what your ratio in conversions in your lead generation is. Then you're going to understand to qualify your mates, your haven't mates, your quicker into money, your pipelines, your CRM on just people that you're cultivating. You know, that forever lead generation on the phone, your business, a single agent, okay, business should be 30% expenses, 70% net profit. Why? Because we want to get you to cash flow so that you can pay your first admins. When you get your first admins, page 193 is the organizational model. A top agent, when they cap and they are part on the Millionaires Club, they get an admin. Second thing is they get an admin because you need to be a hustler on the road all day. Okay? Update your listing appointment. When you're not going to go there and you know your purpose and your value, because let me tell you, I've hunted some properties and I look at this and I'm going, dude, you sit with a buyer. Let's just move in, put the mandate, put new kiki, put new price. Watch this fly. Nee? Your little black book, your little planning. Tell the truth. Be authentic. Be strong up front. Time is money. Get in, get on, get out. Always give them something and leave before you are expected to. And say what you mean and mean what you say. If you want me crazy, is it the eiendomsagent that just carries on like a puta and it's got no idea because it's a natural actor and it's got a flair. But you can instantly, yeah, this one has got no idea what's happening around it. People are not stupid. You can't wing it all the time. Leverage the media. Be aware. Did you know there is a golf day at Waterkloof, Danielle? Did you know that the local nursery school is having a fundraiser for this one? Carla, did you know everything in your suburb you must know? That 5 a.m. morning club, sharpen up. Listen to responsiveness. And I've said this before, the 5-second rule in life. Stop, listen, think, react. And then if you slow on the uptake in life, we'll give you an extra second. But listen to people. Do you know what is the most interesting thing that I love? When you go into a listing appointment and dan lê die brochures van die groen, die rooi en die pink companies en die geel is daar. And then I ask the clients, so what is it that you expect from me? Luister, Rolo. That auntie came here, she did the photos, she slapped it on the internet, sent us these sexy brochures. She had a show day. 2 people came. The one came from a second thing, and then she said, yeah, we'll plan another show day. It's now 3 months later. I phoned her twice, and she's still not phoning me back. New scripts and dialogues. Communicate effectively. One of, there's so many ways of communicating. Ask the question, how, dear client, would you like me to communicate with you? Email, WhatsApp, phone calls. And how regular and what would you like to? Ask the rules and set the reminders. You do have the tools on Edge to set the phone call reminder, then it automatically sends you an email. You do have it available on tasks on Google that you can set a reminder. Bel die vet tannie met die snaakse bril wat lag soos 'n gans, die 9de Augustus. Be prepared to answer objectives. People want to hear the smart things. List hard, sell easy. I repeat, list hard, sell easy. There is a tool on your phone that you can connect with your Google. It's called Keeps. And when you sit there with the client, press record on it and it saves it and it automatically synchronizes with your Google on your machine. And you can always listen to the recording again because you want the attention in the detail and to bring the punch. Be ready to answer questions of why is that school this? Why did that restaurant close down? Because I know everybody liked it. How is that hairdresser? I'm giving an examples. But be prepared to answer. Why is that property only sold for 2.6 million? Why did that buyer do that on that property? Why is that thing not selling? Yeah, dear buyer or dear seller, because when you open the front door, you walk straight into the toilet for a 6 million rand property. Get the right price. What? Because remember, if you start growing your business into a 30-30-40, like I said earlier, 30% expenses, 70% net profit, a single agent. When you get your admins, your cash flow is changing into 30-30-40, 30% cost of sales, 30% fixed expenses, and 40% net profit. Because the success of your team is in that profit sharing and in the incentives as we grow. So why would we want to walk in if we can see on Lightstone argumentatively the comparable? Now, here and there, you need to delete some, and that's why you need to be a pro on Lightstone and understanding what is in the market currently on private property, Property 24, and obviously not everything that is on the website, Property 24 Private Property, is necessarily what is in the market. Some of the smaller no-name brands, the pop-up shops, are not using those newspapers because of cost. Secondly is they rely on boards and their own websites and Facebook. You do also have some that are only advertising on Gumtree, OLX, OL. Everybody has got a different thing for their market. So you need to be aware of the other competitors. And normally the ones with the most listings in your market is the ones that are carrying the market share. And why I put the original price as critical, once you've deleted and got the hang of it and it says 2080, then there's that sort of little bit of asking price, what we call the parameter pricing. Asking price 3.5, offers from 2.2. Asking price 3.3, offers from 2.2. Still my commissions, etc. is covered. So parameter advertising is a big conversation. I don't want to go too much into it. The Sotheby's people will know it very, very well. Parameter advertising. It's one of Sandy Geffen's strongest points. Is mos nie Elke? Is Elke still on the call?
Ja, ek is nog hier so.
Isn't parameter pricing one of Sotheby's biggest secrets?
Yeah, it's something that they call it their own, but it's existed forever. I mean, even Remax has parameter pricing. So yeah.
I'm just teasing because of the Sotheby's on the call. Donkey my scat, right?
Pleasure.
So when you go in with price and plan, you must stick to it and know what you talk about. Because it's important. It's critical. Help the sellers self-discover. And one of the important things that I've recently learned, like a big aha for me, is I don't get it right all the time, is and that's what happened now at the leadership camp they had in Germany. Importance of we need to empower people to start thinking for themselves, and that's why a detailed mandate, what service you going to offer that seller, you want to make that seller feel empowered, that he's chosen the best agent that is quantifying the fee he's paying for the level of service and relationships you are offering. Okay. Don't chase the market. What I mean is, don't run out here, Rossi, and I'll go and list all the open mandates in Silver Lakes and then gooi it on the market and then go, yeah, skouhuis, yeah. Look, I have to get the listings, but please have method in the madness. Don't chase it, because you need to create that rhythm that goes with the market and empower. Because as you collect the information and new inventory listings comes on the market, you will know about it. Anything else you want to add to pricing?
Rolo, sorry, can I just bump in here?
Please, Elke.
So I've always said, once you've taken the listing, the only thing you can control is the marketing, not the price. If you don't have the correct conversation with the client going to market, then you and your client are not going to have that open conversation when you need to adjust the price, or when you have to actually tell them, but listen, we're not getting any form of response, or it isn't open mandates. And one of the other things I also, and I've been doing this many years, is I only go and take open mandates, obviously because we do need the inventory. But if I have one exclusive mandate that is correctly priced, because myself and the client had that fierce conversation about why are we selling and, going to market correctly and everything is in place, I would go and I would match 2 open mandates on the same price, because the open mandates are usually the overpriced ones, the incorrectly priced ones, the ones that the public's always going to wonder what's wrong with it, So there's nothing wrong with taking an open mandate, but I think it's also a question of building that relationship with the client to the extent that you're not going to be wasting your time Don't take the open mandate if you and the client are not going to get along, or you don't have an open door to go and speak to the client with regards to the marketing of their property, to the true needs of why they are selling. So, and this is something that somebody else said, and it still sticks with me, is people go where we don't look.
Yes.
Agents from other companies are doing things very, very, wat is oppervlakkig in Engels, very
Lightheartedly,
yeah. And it's easy to try and go and say to a client, jy sal nie weet wat se peanut het jou siek gemaak as jy 'n pakkie peanuts eet nie. Jy weet, nog een oop mandaat agent is niks. Maar if you're not truly committed to the cause of your own business, then you are going to sit with inventory that you are not going to be able to speak to the clients with regards to the marketing and the price. And you're also not going to be able to move that stock either from an open mandate to a dual or an exclusive, or to try and sell it. Where you have that conversation with the client and they trust you enough to guide them as an advisory service.
Yes, please. Thank you for sharing, Alka. Big ahas. I do agree with you.
Thank you.
That's why I say thanks, Alka. Manage your listings in this buyer's market. So, Rossi, you have to go and get all those open listings. But to now start, very important, get price reductions. It's exactly what Alka said. Those open mandates are all because of incorrect price, or the marketing that is behind it. But once you have a plan and a set rules of the quality and standard of your service in the marketing, that is just the enhancer, because once those prices and those sexy stock is on the market, you're going to start having the conversions. Why I've put in there agent sharing. We forget in Keller Williams, especially in South Africa, is that, and that's the thing with the open mandate. Like in the US, a property can only get listed once. But we are trying to implement it here in South Africa through our ML, being the biggest multi-listing company in South Africa. Agent sharing, open hours, quick conversion, quicker money. Don't sit necessarily on it. If once it is ready to have an agent hour, invite them, discuss it, let them write the show house register and say, yo, I love it, but it's this or that, so that you can empower yourself in this market and to move the units. It works very, very well, the agent sharing in the market centers in the metro. Yes, Alka, please talk.
Okay, sorry, I just want to say something here. Coming from where we've been, okay, from another company in very much the old model structure. One thing that in South Africa, a lot of agents are not grasping is sharing stock, sharing areas, and sharing things like open houses or show houses. And we're privileged in Keller Williams to have what is known as our growth share. When we bring people in, we want to go and identify the strongest other agent in the area. We want to have that open hour for the agents to invite them to come and look at our stock and to see that we are the ones that if you hold the stock, you rule the system. So it's very important to build good relationship with other stronger agents and to just grasp that the multi-listing system within our business, within Keller Williams, is how we share on the unit side, on the listing or the buyer side. And if we have agents from other companies that we truly invite and it is closed stock, which is an exclusive mandate, we still control that listing. And our main aim is to always serve the client first. What is it that the client wants? And a conversation that I always have when I do a listing, especially if I'm first through the door and it is an exclusive mandate, and I know that the client's a little bit overpriced, and we've had this conversation, is I ask the client very straightforward. I say to them, how do we go to the market? And how do we make an impression? Without having to later adjust our price. We have to go to market by making a very good impression. And that is, at the end of the day, the price. So especially when it comes to other agents, just getting back to that again, we have to understand that we share our business, we share our stock, we share our areas. We might as well play well with others. That is very important.
Yeah. Donkey Alka, exactly. Can I tell you what has been very successful in Keller Williams? You'll see the ads come past on Facebook, sold without even being listed. It is purely because they work their database and let the system do the heavy lifting. when the listing comes, in, what they do is they list it on the Keller Williams site, but they don't let it feed through to private property 24. Then the safe searcher sends to the buyers. Then they even send to the agent network, and they have one viewing. 11 people that has responded comes through at 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock, it is sold. It didn't even see the free market because of that server delivery. Thank you for that, Alka. You would know what your GCI, CGI is. If you know what your trends and your registrations and the absorption in the suburbs and the activity indexes, you would know how many listings you have to have, how many appointments, and what your conversions must be. Goes about money at the end of the day. Offer seller concessions in mandates. So I just want to mention this, and it takes skill, but if we sell it at X, the commission will be X. If it sell it at X, it will be X. If this is what I'm going to bring to the table, if you will bring a seller X to the table. What has happened is that you do negotiate like a 14 and 18 million rand home. The commission is R1 million. We are going to do X. You are going to pay us an extra 50,000 rand for controlling the marketing. But that way we can put it in the in-flight magazine and the this and the that. It's going to go about what do you offer, how vested you are in the relationship. So if you are good in the negotiations, you can involve your seller in the mandate and in the marketing process and in the exposure. That's just what I want to say, offer seller concessions in the mandates for the process. And there was just purely because it's a skills-based market we're going into, that Danielle reminded us earlier. I'm really just over time. So just what I want to say is there's no single factor bigger than pricing in this, what is ahead of us. So plan accordingly. Let the numbers do the heavy lifting for you, please. Be the expert in what's in the market, what is advertised, how long they've been on the market, and what the true price must be. And very, very important, the seller still pays your commission at the end of the day. And that value proposition is really that consistency to keep your sellers informed. Please talk to me. Give me something that you take away from today. Let me just click here a little bit and see. Rousseau, talk to me. Give me one thing. Let's go around the room. I've got 5 more minutes.
Hi Rolo, sorry dat ek net hier aansit. Ja, die belangrikste is net om die pricing reg te kry. Kry die regte gesprek met die verkopers en moenie jou tyd mors op goed wat completely overpriced is nie. Daar is redelike paar listings hier in Silver Lakes wat open mandates is. Hulle het 10 agente klaar op die ding. Hy is al vir 'n jaar plus op die mark. En ja, moet net nie tyd mors op hulle nie.
Sure, Rousseau, baie dankie. That's a big yes, please. I love what you're saying. Is things that are forever on the market is just be aware of that. That's a big one. Well done, Rousseau. Carla, talk to us. Give us something that are hard with you today.
Well, something that I always enjoy and something that I believe in is to know the market and come across as a professional when you talk to your prospective buyers or sellers. Know what the activity index is and everything in that neighborhood. And also, like Rousseau said, don't waste your time on the overpriced properties.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Carla. Wait, I see you've raised your hand. We'll give you a shot. You're welcome to talk.
Hi there, Rolo. We talk about open hours and stuff like that. And remember, we come from KW South, where we had the southern one. Unfortunately, we don't belong to MLS here in the Northwest. So in terms of open hour, it makes it a little difficult.
Wade, I want to just tell you there. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, what we mean with an agent hour is it's like a show house, but you invite Pam Golding, you invite whoever is in the suburb to please come and see the property. You invite all the other Keller Williams agents that are in your area. And then you don't need to belong to a MLS. We've got, because we are an MLS, that's how we do it. Unless I understood you incorrectly. I see you've raised your hand again. You're welcome to keep speaking.
All right. Now, I just wanted to clarify that. Thanks very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Wade. Elke, the floor is yours.
I think I also just wanted to clarify, Wade. I think the most important thing to realize is that other companies are always going to, as well as we should be keeping an eye on their movements and their stock. And what happens is instead of them having follow us and stalk us, we just invite them and make them part of it. Because eventually what happens, and the success with KW in South Africa and worldwide, is that once you collaborate or you have good alliances with other agents, strong agents in your area, and you have the stock, they automatically become what would similarly be known as maybe a buyer's agent, because they also know that even if they don't have stock, you'll have stock that they can work. And that is why the multi-listing within the company of Keller Williams works so well. But the relationship with other agents is one that you have to cultivate, because eventually those guys come to you and they want to also join Keller Williams, even though you work in the same area. You're not each other's competition. You basically become each other's allies, and that's a nice thing to have. And that's why open hours are vitally important, especially when it comes to exclusive mandates, because that's something that no one else is doing at the moment. We do it, we might start with it, but we're not consistent with it. And so I would definitely recommend everybody stick to that. Once you start doing that, keep on going and get other agents in to come and assist as well.
Thank you, Elke. Thank you. Exactly that. Awesome. Thanks. Wade says, thanks. That is the best I've learned. Awesome. Thanks, Wade. Who else can we ask? Rachel, come on. You're a newbie, but you're a good talker. Tell us, what did you see today? I know you actually, the MCTT or all those smart words, but something must have resonated with you. Share with us.
Well, basically everything you said. So my biggest one is run. Beginning, you said, where's my screenshot? No, I didn't take a screenshot. Not that one.
Oh,
phenomenal customer service. So that's one with our previous Lucky. I've always told the agents, you don't need to do a lot more than other agents to be better, because other agents just do the bare minimum. So just put in that little bit extra and you will be phenomenal. So that was my aha.
Yes, please. Thank you, Rashali. Yes. Nothing like experience and prior learning. Oh, Snooks.
Yes, Abu D. You know, I agree with Rachel also. And another thing, what most agents do there, you find out on all these sellers and people, they're misled out there. I love it when we did talk about being honest, telling them, answering all their questions honestly, so that you don't raise their hopes high. Because agents there are very much misleading to the people, because they want all these listings, they want all these things, so they end up not being honest. So us being honest is to eliminate all the expectations and all the questions. No, you said that. No, you said that. You know, everything you said is true.
Donkey Knox, Kalebochame, thank you for sharing. Guys, huge big thank you for being on the call. Next week I'm going to, because remember we did the farm your way so that you can get into your area. Then we had Jace. Today we discussed price. Next week, now that you've got all of this information on your suburbs, I want to talk about the CGI, the GCI, your growth, your numbers in Keller Williams. And I know you've done it, Team Giants, already, and you are working as well at the same time. Ignite is ahead of you. please see if you can plan to be there. Thank you for the participation so that I can help you to sharpen your number and understanding what you want to achieve for yourself to tie in with the success of the team. Knox, have a good one. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Cheers, cheers.
Thank you.
Dankie Rolo.
Dankie
Thanks,
julle.
Rolo.
Bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
Elke. Dankie julle. Tata.
Cheers.
Dankie Rolo.